So, I mean, I don't even like know where to really start with the patch notes because of course they're adding like Johnny. The UI looks so good.
Yeah, I like it.
It looks so fucking nice.
I
I,
like
know like some people don't like it because it looks a little PlayStation Networky. I really like this UI. Like I'm cool with it. I know a lot of people don't like it, or some people don't like it. Weird that Africa wasn't a selectable region. I don't know what they mean by change the structure of the lobby screen. I assume they mean this. I'm not really sure. I do like the adding the visual indicator. The UI is pretty much better. I like the indicator of player counts.
This patch sucks. They nerf freaking Jackal's only super she done got. I hate it here.
A lot of these are kind of like, you can kind of ignore a lot of these. I think this is a huge one. Fix an issue where like the dual stations can't be accessed. A lot of issues in the lobbies were this, where you just couldn't connect to the station. You just kept like going back and forth. It was fucking awful. I know that the display format, I've seen this, where like on the website for Arc System here, it shows like this, like the balance, power, you know, all of these roles. It just shows on the thing now. I mean, they kind of try to change some stuff, but I'm hoping that this is like a definite fix. I like some of this stuff is kind of random. I mean, it's kind of whatever. I already just choose myself anyway. You're gonna see my ass still playing the circle or birthday train anyway on hell. New missions are cool. That's just for the tutorial heads. Art codes, I don't know what this means. I don't know if this is an extra step. I don't know if that's like a security thing for art codes, because I don't know why they need an options in the menu. I don't know if it's some strange anti-hacker man tech. I don't really know what that is, but you know, new free shit, did stuff. Now this is the meat, the real meat, the big juicy meat. That might stop Hacker Man, because I think it is an art code issue. I think most people have been thinking it's an art code issue too, so that might be it. Hopefully that's the end of Hacker Man. For arcade, yeah. Hopefully that's the end of Hacker Man. He'll probably come back in some other way, but it's a big juicy meat, the big ribeye on the bone. They're changing burst a lot. Okay, so burst fucking goes cross screen now. Blue burst does. I think they changed Gold Burst, so Gold Burst now gives positive bonus, and this specifically, I think now makes your tension gauge go up higher for like your burst. I'm actually kind of fine with the Blue Burst being cross screen. It doesn't really matter to me. It just stops the random burst bang stuff. You could block it anyway.
So the main reason why Blue Burst goes full screen is for like a lot of the like more burst state characters like Ram or like some like Geo or Bridget stuff, mostly Ram and Happy Chaos. It's fine, you know. It's
yeah.
Like, that's like I think that's like one of the better ways that they could have done it.
Yeah, while the Stolen Hack, while Stolen Deflect Shield is its whole like other monster. That's something that like you guys have to see when it comes to it, because everyone's getting a universal like defense and attack. We already know that's coming. Using 50% of the burst, we already know about that. 3 different versions. That's something we're gonna have to be seeing more in the actual patch, because they don't go. They just say what it is, because Deflect Shield's pretty much just a really good like block FD that pushes them really far back so you can attack. And like while the Soul is kind of goes in the same category of you just charge in like Blitz from Xrd, but like every character has like a different version of it. Or like there's 3 different variations of it. So like, you know, some are invincible, some have like good startup to using combos, and the other one is like meant for like canceling, I think. The Guard Crush effect on block creates advantageous situations, yeah.
Yeah.
They're color coded anyway. A lot of this we'll see in game anyway. Burst is just buffed. Like anyway. Burst just being more up a lot is really good. It, like in general it lets you like just waste that shit in like fights. I love wasting burst. I'm a burst waster.
If you're in positive bonus too, it like cranks up your burst.
Yeah, no, we already talked about that. He has this right here too. Like activates positive bonus, all that stuff. Weight's homogenized, so every character has the same weight. So Bridget can do a combo on Pot that he used to be able to only be able to do on like Milia. I don't know how good the Flex Shield would be when 50% burst costs, while still should be insane on some characters. I think it's up to like who you play. I think if you're playing a heavy character, the Wild Assault might just be better. So you get to see like individual matchups, considering like it's all like different. I know some characters already are going to benefit greatly, like Ram, Testament, probably Geo. A lot of like characters that like just need gap closers are going to like really take advantage of this. So yeah, you know, weight's kind of the same already. This is a big one. They kind of go over here where like a lot of like special moves that go into other special moves, like you start with it, they remove the counter hit off of them, and the base damage is down. But this is like not the one thing. When I say like the game is really different, they nerfed damage flat off the board. Every character in this entire Patchnotes, every single change, you can see reduce damage, reduce damage, reduce damage. Every single character got heavily reduced damage.
Yeah, they either like straight up like reduce the damage on things, or they increase the base damage scaling. So a lot of your stuff is more scaled.
Which means now Guilty Gear sets are going to be longer.
I think I'm pretty cool with that.
There is a video that they showed for Kai where he does like / Strive Impact, like /2H 214S, and it only does like 30%. No, it doesn't even do 30%. It does like 25. It does not do a whole lot of damage. So damage in this game now, it's gonna be like cool.
TB is probably one of the best supers now because it got above and affected by the super nerfs. Which one's TB?
Tyrant Barrel.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, the move with the clean hit is like way easier to do now.
I mean, like these already some of the ones like blue burst buff pretty good, yellow burst buff pretty good. They changed the wording because we argued about this earlier.
Oh, they did change the wording.
Yeah, so now on all versions of Roman Cancel, no longer incurs tension penalty if canceled before the time reset for effect or time freeze effect.
So I was talking to a buddy about this earlier. Every super like starts up the time freeze like on their very first active frame. So it is just you don't lose tension penalty if you get hit on the startup of like a BRC or whatever.
I'm cool with that. It feels pretty bad to like try to do something and you just get smacked out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's a healthy change.
Yeah.
If it was, again, like if it was like what we thought before, where it was like if you got a perfect FRC or whatever and you wouldn't lose meter, or like you wouldn't get a tension penalty, that would be crazy. But it's not that, thankfully.
Yeah. Now, yellow Roman Cancel now hits opponents who have strike or throw invincibility. I don't know what that means.
So there is some weird YRC stuff where like someone could DP through a YRC or Hawkbuster through a YRC or whatever. It didn't happen a whole lot, but when it did happen, it was like, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Okay.
So also, if this is what I think it is, there were times where Beakgar would actually go through YRC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I know some disjoints would go through YRC too if you like were far enough for the disjoint.
I didn't really see the whole adjusting her blocks for more consistency for a bunch of people. I'm just curious to see how that actually looks in game. That's something you really can't comment on until you actually like see it. I'm hoping it makes some funnier ones. I have some urge against some moves like Mega Fist, like looking like an entire planet for hitbox. I don't think that really the counter hit visual change affects anything. I think it's just like a little like mini change. I don't know if they showed it at the VSF, but let's go down like normal. Soul, apparently people are saying that his crouching kick is 5 frames, which is stupid fucking fast.
So on Dustloop right now in this current version of Strive, his 2K is 6 frames. So his 2K now having reduced startup means that it is at least going to be 5 frames, which is crazy. That's like Axel 2K, but like without the low profile.
Yeah, like I could tell like a lot of these are just trying to like, balance power. Like Bandit Revolver was still kind of needed a TVH. Soul is I think Soul was already like a top character. This is a little scary. I like the change of the Bandit Bringer in Fafnir, like especially Fafnir, because Fafnir it was always a weird feeling move in his kit.
Word on the street is his Far Slash is gonna be back to like Season 1, where like you can't FD it away.
That'd be insane. I don't know if they go that far.
Yeah, that's just the word on the street, but the streets tend to lie.
Oh yeah, this is something I forgot to mention. Every heavy DP across the map has been nerfed. So, people thought there's just no invincibility. They still have invincibility. It's just not on the very like first frame like it used to, which is good. Like that was just annoying to fight anyway. And it's a heavy DP anyway. Like those are more combo tools. I have some opinions on Kai. Listen, man, I'm like, I do some tourneys and stuff. Kai is the character that always fucking murders me. It's always consistently this character. So like, I was watching this a lot whenever he was getting balance changes. Like, I don't know why his standing slash and heavy slash need to be faster, but I'm honestly kind of cool with it. All that matters to me is that like apparently like Sun Dipper is slower. Yeah, increased recovery. I know it's a little safer, but I'm hoping that this like all works out. The reduced damage is probably gonna like even this all out anyway.
Word on the street is that Stun Dipper is now 7th rank startup.
Yeah, I think that was counted on a video. So I think I remember seeing that. Nothing really interesting here. D also suffers from the whole like DP change. I don't know enough about Kai to really like give an input on this. Kai's not my character. It is a good nerf. Sun Dipper needs to be nerfed in like some sense just to make it like more balanced. That move was kind of egregious because like he can honestly like it was almost like a weird like chaos effect where he could just whiff some moves in neutral, still use Stun Dipper as like a safety net, and get away with it because of like from a cancel, and it just didn't really feel fun to fight. I think May is probably one of the biggest like hitters of this. Like it's like she lost a lot during this patch. May, like, I don't know, May's kind of a weird case because like she, from what it looks like, it doesn't actually look it's that bad. People were dooming over the forward heavy slash no longer bouncing because normally a lot of May combos were like kind of hit 2k and then like I think it's like 5k and then she immediately does like a 6h and it bounces up, or like a 2k 5p or whatever. That's just gone. That's just gone now if you just like spam the move already. I think if you have a normal version only, so I think if you just hold it, it's fine. I find it interesting that you can now cancel on your like 6k, which is like that random like little leap she does. I really don't know what that is going to be useful for. I was talking to Liam about it earlier, and I kind of just think it's like an up dolphin fodder. Like up dolphin, get a funny hit out of it. If you do, it probably goes into something. I don't really fully know what it is.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, S Dolphin and H Dolphin got some pretty fucked up stuff where like at least now they can press a button to change, like, you know, if they want to cancel it early or go farther. But now I think the frame data for S Dolphin's still the same, but it pulls like May closer to the opponents. So like you can usually just mash them when they get there. That's pretty rough as it gets. I don't think really May needed that. I know a lot of people are very like upset towards May, like they just don't like this character being as strong as she is. But like my problem inherently has always been her damage more than like her options, mostly because like the dolphin gave so much reward for what it gave. I imagine like May's gonna be really weird to play, but she might still be pretty good. Considering like damage got nerfed, this is still kind of good for her. She's still gonna be a heavy hitter.
They made it so like dolphin on block leads are closer, right?
Yeah, that's what I just said. It puts it really close, so you can just mash it with like 2B.
Yeah, that was the big thing about May. It was mostly like part of what made her dolphin RPS so strong is that she was always at like a range where it's like you couldn't really threaten a whole lot. It was a mix of she was at a really good range for all of her buttons and 5k.
I think this is too much. May didn't deserve this much. Like, I get it, but like I feel like there's other ways you could have handled Nerfinger. She could card cancel rock on block. I just think that like I never really thought the issue was the dolphin as much. The dolphin was irritating to like some people to an extent, but I didn't really mind the dolphin. I think a lot of times the issue I thought was like the 5k, like 5k, the 6h, you know, those buttons definitely need to be changed. I'm kind of iffy on the whole dolphin thing though. I know since you can cancel dolphin, they're probably just gonna they're trying to make it as a more diverse like approach tool, but it's kind of rough because May has kind of a weird air to air like anyway, and since 6h isn't no longer bounces, she's gonna be relying on some like pretty like her pretty good buttons. Is that I just feel like there's less options to really do. Yeah, this seems like a little too much. Yeah, 6p kind of like fucked up anyway. Axel overall got a buff, which is funny because like everyone was trying to gaslight people that Axel's things were lower, like they didn't go as far, but no, they're fine. Axel's is the same range. It's actually a little better on some moves. Axel overall just got a buff. I don't know how Axel Bomber being affected by momentum is really gonna change him. I'm not the Axel head here. I think it's one of those things of like you know, you're trying to look for a detail, so you're just gonna look for anything. You're gonna think every little thing. Okay, why to make it short? They thought they're trying to look for anything. So I think they thought like some guy was probably saying it like they're like, oh, it looks shorter than usual. Then everyone just kind of believed it. It happens. That's just a gaslighting thing. Chip, I'm very happy about these changes. He's getting nerfed on stuff. His 6k being able to special cancel is actually pretty cool. I'm fine with like moves like that being good.
I feel like what happened to Chip was good.
Yeah, like I like his stuff being a little faster. His Rekka no longer counter hitting. Good lord, thank God. That Rekka was a problem, dude. I still think it's a little too fast, but I don't know how it's gonna be different. Like, there's also a horizontal blowback distance, so it might be a lot different when it's actually fighting him now.
A lot of the stuff when it comes to like a lot of the forward advancing moves that they removed the counter hit effect on, all that it really does is that like you're gonna have to open your eyes more on hit confirming things. Which is like that's fine.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's like it just makes it like less gorilla-ish with some moves. Like I'm cool with that.
Yeah, the JD giving him a wall bounce is really interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with that.
I don't think I remember what Chip's JD even looks like. I barely know anything about this character, but he always gives me problems.
It's like a kick that angles down.
I have a winning matchup against this character, and I still have problems.
Because I feel like he does have glaring flaws with the character, but those are always just covered by like him just having sometimes this gapless like pressure. Because anytime he had bar, he could just space you out with like a bunch of direct rekkas, and like you really couldn't do anything about it. Like, unless you're really good at calling it out. I know Pod was another big winner of this, like how his Mega Fist like tumbles now. I assume there's gonna be a lot more like silly combos of him. I don't know the full-on implication. I'm shocked they nerfed Heavenly Potemkin Bus's damage. I know like they're trying to nerf damage across the board, but I'm really scared they're gonna do too much, because Pod's that character that like he shouldn't be good as much as like Pod mains are cool, but like grapplers just shouldn't be good in games. But I feel like nerfing the damage on his main like one of his main things is a little too much. I don't think they changed normal Pod Buster.
They did not change normal Pod Buster.
So it still does a lot of damage. I don't know, maybe it's more normalized. Maybe it's like close to the same thing, like a little more. I don't have too much of an opinion. I love Pod stuff too. I find it funny that they removed Guard Crush on Slidehead.
Oh my
I actually
God.
think this is a bad thing. I don't know, I feel like it should have had Guard Crush, only because I feel like sometimes I was able to, like, that was the reason I was able to like get in more. Yeah, they nerfed command grabs across the board. I think they were trying to make it feel like less rewarding for the person that gets the command grab, because it just felt dirty, you know. Some command grabs just felt dirty to get hit by. I have a lot to say about Faust, because I don't play this character, but I very much look at this character a lot. Like, I just cannot play this character for the life of me. But
I hate this character.
I'm shocked by some things here, because I never thought his bone crushing damage did that much damage, but I think this is more of the normalization. You know, they're trying to normalize damage across the board. I find it interesting that Thrust has a hold variation. I don't really know what that does. I saw someone say that like it does way more damage when you hold that. When you hold down.
The main purpose of it is to bait out 6Ps, which is like, that's fine, but...
Oh, like Guard Crush is when you hold it. Yeah. He got a new move to what's like his item toss. Apparently what people are saying is his item toss is way fucking faster. It doesn't really show it here. What could this be? The double down into punch is what you use to unleash it. This is a new item store mechanic where when he's doing what could this be, if he holds it, he eats an item and he can store it from later, which is insane for this character already. This character like already feels like good on some things. Like, I'm scared that this character might become top tier, because some people are saying that his item toss was 9 frames faster. It doesn't really say here. If it's a lie, thank God. I don't know if I can handle 9 frames faster item toss. All items are kind of like minimal, but the item toss thing is gonna be huge, because like even without the faster item toss, being able to store meteors and doing any kind of crazy mix-up is such a huge thing for this game, especially for his like just like mixed game in general. He's gonna be able to like have a lot more expression as a character, and it's gonna be crazier fucking combos. I'm really excited to see what he does with this new item toss feature. Now, I don't know what a lot of this means. I barely know. I know Lush Shaker getting a buff, pretty spicy. I like Lush Shaker. I think they were trying to like just kind of give her some strength, because I think a lot of mix-up characters are gonna have a lot of strength this season coming into like, you know, crazy mix stuff. I think damage being normalized, because you could tell like she didn't get a heavy hand when it came to like the damage nerves. It just did it to her super. They're really trying to normalize damage for everyone. So Millie has a chance of becoming really strong this season, like under the right circumstances. So I think they were kind of scared to do too much. And I guess for context, I mentioned the Faust thing earlier. 6 of the 15 base roster characters got new supers. They announced the rest are coming within the whole season. You know, we're actually gonna get a lot more updates. You know, last season we got like 2 updates, which is like, it's nice having a stable game for a while, but it like did hurt. But like, you know, Chaos reigning the parade for a while made it pretty rough. And speaking of reigning the parade, this character that usually reigns the parade has been gutted. Okay, something that has not been talked about, and I saw this a while back. Zato and Eddie can switch positions when doing Breaking the Law. It's really fucking cool. He can teleport across stage with Breaking the Law.
He can also do it when he summons Eddie in general, which is like, that's crazy.
I think Zato's gonna be fine. I just think that a lot of players that play him have to work a lot harder for it. But also, I feel like Zeto's a character. People have been Zeto down players for a very long time. I'm a Zeto up player. I think this character has been top like 5 for this entire game cycle. But that's also because like I have some very specific issues with this character. So I'm really happy to see some of this like finally happen. Because damn man, this character, man, he had so many issues that I just felt like just didn't resonate with the game. He was like, a lot of my same issues with like Zato kind of extended to Chaos, and you know they both got some pretty rightful nerfs this update. I feel like some things are a little ridiculous, like the crouching stuff, because like I feel like the crouching stuff has always been his biggest strength, like being able to get like really good jabs into like a full like confirm. Yeah, they finally turned Zato into the character that Zato mains think he is. It's about time, man. And people were freaking out because his summon takes way longer to come back, but honestly that's fine, because like with positive bonus and stuff he still thrives. A lot of this stuff doesn't matter in the end, because you see all of the stuff that like reduced fly time, that was for very specific things, and still he shouldn't be doing that much. All of these things in the ends doesn't really matter when he still gets you in the corner and still does the same game plan. You know, a lot of his standard pressure, like yeah, he lost some damage on Fang, but also he did a lot of damage on Fang already. He's still gonna get tons of pressure on you. He's still gonna be able to collect the bar pretty quickly, still use his sword to regain bar, or regain his thing faster. You know, his command grab might not give it back instantly, but with his command grab already, you know, it already sets up like close slash pressure, immediately setting up to Eddie again. I think even like people are saying he's dead. He's not dead. This character needed this nerf. Like maybe not as crazy harsh with some of the normals.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem was Eddie. Eddie was a huge problem inherently for this game, because he was already like, he was Zato's gun, but way more committed, but that's what he should be. It kind of felt like he can kind of get Eddie back whenever you wanted. Like, it felt like it wasn't really him being pressured and him having to play a very specific way. It felt like he could still solo into the fight, get Eddie back, and still like rock you without really having to deal with it. And having low health and being able to blow up is like one thing for that. Like I understand that, but I feel like this, with how some egregious his moves are, you know, how egregious his like 6P has been, how his flight's been, how his JH has been, you know, he has so many crazy moves that I just didn't understand. And this is like my vindication. I've been wanting this character to be nerfed like this for such a long time. Like you see my tier list like from like months ago. I would always put this guy like top 3. I only started to change it a bit because I don't see Zatos anymore, and I felt like Leo and Chip were more of an issue. But this feels good, man. Like this feels good, but I feel like it was a little heavy-handed on the solo moves. I think the solo moves could have stayed the way they are. It's just that like Eddie needed to be nerfed. Eddie was such a problem in this game. A lot of his problems are still there, but at least now it feels like there's proper counterplay sometimes. Because okay, keep in mind, like I play a character that's pretty good against him. This is a lot of this is personal grievance. So like it's less me subjective and how I just personally feel about this character in general. But like I just kind of felt like this character, like at his best, a lot of just characters couldn't compete with him. Like he had so much for it, and like he should be skill-based character, but I don't know. He's a really contentious character because I always was very like iffy on the fact that how fast he got back at Eddie. Yeah, how fast he was able to get back up after even being punished. It kind of felt like sometimes you weren't even really punishing him. Like the punishment was bursting him, but then after that, if he gets like one, you know, like crouch P or stand P, it didn't even matter anyway. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk of why I hate Zato 1. This character. I don't even lose this character that much. This is character. As a Ram main, I have a lot to say about Ram. I've been asking for Ram nerfs for forever.
Oh boy, here we go.
I've been wanting Ram nerfs for forever. I kind of feel like this is a weird way of nerfing her, but I'm cool with it either way. I know my character's been strong. I kind of feel like a lot of the problems with Ram, like while the speed was valuable, I never valued the speed that much. Because I kind of felt like her frame trapping was so strong that the speed didn't really matter. The dash speed does affect her momentum source. So her dash speed has a lot of implications because her dash speed inherently nerfs. I think it looks like 20% slower. It's a pretty heavy like nerfs to speed, which I think is still fine. She still goes pretty fast. Dashing the dash being nerfed has a lot of implications for Ram, because how Ram works is that her swords are actually based on momentum. That's how good they are. So doing a basic close slash until like a dash cancel like sword throw, that can be weaker now. There's probably could be a lot more like gaps in it, but I think that's why they kind of changed it around. Sildo being like a higher knockback move kind of feels weird to me because I got rid of the wall bounce. I don't really know what the point of this move is. I know it's supposed to be mixed, but I kind of feel like making a -2 also feels weird with that. The last one was really strong, but I feel like it wasn't egregious, but it was pretty strong. But I don't know how to feel about this because like I kind of feel like this is like one of those like cool mix-ups where they just kind of throw it out and you don't really expect this, you're gonna have to block it anyway. But then it makes you minus, so you have to like use RC anyway. That's why I feel weird about it because like they overall like buffed her pressure, but then they nerfed the pounce, which I'm not sure how they want us to use this now.
It being minus is like, to me, it's like, thank God, I hated this move. But everything else, it's like, I don't think really needed it. Like removing the wall bounce effect, that's a little bit weird.
In my opinion, if it was combo tool, it loses its combo tools. It no longer wall bounces. That's why I feel weird about it because it doesn't really. I don't really understand this. I feel like, okay, in my opinion, if you're gonna make the move like this, you might as well just make the horizontal travel distance better. As an aerial mix tool, it doesn't really bring much for you that you could just use by jump JHing or like try to do an instant overhead. I feel like you're really gonna only throw out Sildo just to like mess with people. I don't know, maybe in the game it comes off a lot more realistic. Maybe it seems like way better than it actually is because apparently it hits a lot earlier. So we'll have to see. Maybe it's harder to anti-air. But I think the dash nerf and stuff is good. You know, swords. I never really felt like they did a ton, but you know, like but the sword throw himself. But you know, if you want to nerf it, that's fine by me. Daro hitting more is kind of weird because I think Daro kind of did a lot already. Sildo in the air did a lot already, like a lot already, but it's aerial damage, I guess.
Well, increasing the base damage scaling, that's making it so they're doing less damage.
Yeah, I don't really understand. Rekka being nerfed, so no longer having counter, completely fine by me. I don't value Rekka as much as like other Rams do, but that's only because I'm just too lazy to learn things. Ondo is kind of crazy. From what I've seen of Ondo, it's a tracking like low.
No.
That's +8 and lets me connect on like 2S. So they want me to play neutral more. I think a lot is making you want to like do confirming like neutral stuff more. We'll have to see. Maybe Ondo makes Sildo a lot more realistic because a lot of times they're trying to build these things into each other. So maybe it works out in the end. I'm letting Desuke cook on this one. I think good nerfs all around though. Calvados, Moribato should have been less. They should have been less patches ago. Ram feels like an artifact of the older Guilty Gear, like first version where, you know, like you mess up once and you just blow up. So like this is completely fair. I'm completely happy with this. I hope that Ondo is a fun part of her kit that meshes well with it. I don't understand Silda, but we'll see. Maybe Silda will be fucking like crazy, or like maybe it'll have its like very valuable use of Ondo.
I think a lot of the layout changes are pretty good. They're all very minor. Like as you see here, there's like 15 things that say reduce damage. The big thing about this though is heavy DP, no longer fully invincible, which is really good, especially as Baiken. And he can get more. He has more options to get back turn in mid screen because 5H 214S is true now. You can do that now.
I'm so happy.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I like the changes to layout. I think they need to do a little bit more, but they're getting.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like this is very light-handed, but I think at the same time it's because the layout community isn't as like loud and proud. There's only a few guys out there, so I think like everyone knows he's strong, but they kind of tolerated him being strong. We've all liked him chill with it. I think a lot of the annoying parts have been the DP. I think the PPT's always been a very egregious thing where the heavy slash version can get knocked into his back stance and like he can shuffle you. So I'm cool with this. Doesn't really bother me. You're gonna with the whole SD and HP changes, you're gonna see a lot of people just like, you know, play on bar, and it's gonna be a lot easier to predict now, at least for a bit. People are gonna throw that shit out like when they want to be funny anyway. But I think overall, because he's the last of the like DP nerfs, I actually like this change a lot. I think it's objectively a really good change. It didn't really affect their combos as much. I know Kai's it affected his combos. I think it changed like the knockup properties and stuff. And it was something like it doesn't do some of the combos it used to, but like I think overall like regardless of that, then Noverlong having like invincibility in the very beginning was like it's such a huge step forward, because it kind of felt like these characters had so much defense for what they're bringing to the table. That since when your character without a reversal like that, it just kind of felt bad. Nago, I don't know what the fuck they did here. His forward heavy slash, that's the slam move that OGG's for like 1 billion damage, guard crushes now. It no longer special cancels, which is cool, but his Beyblade's a low?
Beyblade is a low and the second edge of DP is an overhead?
Yeah, like, I don't know what they were doing with this.
Really secret.
But Naga's been on always a perpetual state of getting buffs and nerfs, like back and forth. I think they're really trying to make him the boss character they really want him to be, but I feel like adding random knowledge checks into his stuff isn't really it.
We already have
But
Leo, the knowledge.
I feel like with a character with this much damage, with a reputation in the game as the one shot, it's just right here too, he's the one shot. I think adding a bunch of knowledge checks is not really healthy for this kind of character design.
I wonder how like weak his corner carry will be now, because you can 6H Fukio, because that was a big thing for him.
I think they're trying to force a way more committal lifestyle on Nago by even nerfing his 5k, nerfing his like a lot of his normals. You know, they're trying to force like Nagos to play aggressive. You know, they don't want Nago to stay back and only keep on like 1 or 2 bars the whole time. They want them to play crazy, which I get that. But I feel like
Giovanna.
We don't know too much about her new move, because we just know that it powers up other specials.
Yeah.
It powers up her combos, powers up her Oki. A lot of this kind of just seems like to like, you know, reduce damage, reduce launch height. It's very simple stuff because they're prepping for the new move. I think I don't know how strong this new move is going to be. Some people are saying it's underwhelming. Maybe this is going to be crazy. Maybe there's some lab monster that discovers a crazy fucking combo with this. So it's one of those ones I don't have much of an opinion on, because I think we just have to wait for it to cook, like, and see what happens. So I feel like she's finally becoming a character that is getting her own identity.
For sure.
Because, like, she's always been, like, this very weird, like, pussy, like, grappler character. But it kind of feels like a weird tonal shift to having Guilty Gear, especially when she has, like, you know, magical dogs and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
crazy moves. Having a move that powers her up feels so in line with her kit. And feels like it brings in familiarity to people from other games, while also not alienating the Gear audience too much. This covers a lot of things that people have been complaining about for a while. You know, we need more specials. The games end too fast. There's too much damage. Like, I feel like they're finally like handling a lot of these issues now, and it really feels like they've been listening, even though, you know, we've been waiting for so long for them to do something. Like, I feel like the way paid off. It's just not going to be as like egregious, you know. It's going to be more, you know, every hit still matters. I don't understand why they even nerfed this guy in the first place. I get that like he's getting a new move.
They specifically wanted to remove the counter effect on moves that had like other options from it, and unfortunately Fujin is like the big thing about this.
Yeah, I think Anji will get his day. You know, as far as we know, maybe he's actually still a monster with these changes. You know, I understand Fujin being the way it is. They'll probably buff him more in the future. The fact that Anji was able to be the way he was last update was nothing short of a miracle, because of how his history has been the whole game. So I think he'll get back there. I just think that they were too afraid of how strong his aggression is with like movement, with a new Wild Assault. You know, like, there's already Wild Assault combos of him doing wall-to-walls. There's already a wall-to-wall of him. Like, he's a character that can very much abuse the new mechanics. So I think they're very much afraid of that, and they'll probably tone him more up as they go. You know, it's weird, because I know they nerfed her. They're trying to make it the new move, because she gets a new move that's it's a mid guard crush. And I think when on hit, on block and hit, she can move midair after attack to maintain her offense. And I think it knocks him up like really high up. I don't think she needs to be nerfed that much, but maybe this new move is really strong. I'm not the biggest Ino nowhere. I am Daro. Maybe this will all work out. The dives being nerfed kind of makes sense to me with that, because like the dives already kind of felt like they did a lot anyway. But I kind of feel like giving her nerfs right now is kind of heavy-handed. Maybe they're afraid of how she works with Wild Assault too. I'm not really too sure. What do you think, Aaron?
What about Ino?
Yeah.
I think this is just an unfortunate side effect of the new system mechanics with like forward advancing moves. It feels horrible, because it's like Ino cannot take one step forward without taking 2 steps back half the time.
Yeah. I think I understand it because Baikon's like a lot more bursty though, and I think the thing with like Ino and Milia, for example, is that like it's the same thing that like applies to like Potemkin. You know, it's their matchups that are very fun to fight, but a lot of people enjoy them. So they're very worried of them being too strong because a character that's way too strong with this much mix and this much damage could be hyper bad for the game.
I think that's the main thing, but it's also like, it's so weird how like you have Ino getting nerfed, and then it's like, for a while, Baiken didn't really get anything like this. We're gonna have to see how good the new move is, and how good her Wild Assault's gonna be. Also, I don't know why Chemical Love, they reduced the attack level of it.
This is one of those things that maybe the move is just that good. Yeah, we just have to wait and see at that point. This is such a funny fucking change. Like reduce the frontal half of the active frames on Typhoon. They want Goldos to fly. He's a character that I don't know why they didn't nerf his damage as much because I feel like his damage was really egregious for this game. But listen,
every Gold Blues player that I've seen has been doing so much, and it's just because of Far Slash. Talking about Far Slash and 2S, who was using 2S as Gold Lewis? Like as a poke? No one was using this button. He pretty much only had 3 pokes. Far Slash, JD, and 684. And it's like they nerfed Far Slash, and it's like why?
Maybe it's again one of those things that like they see and we just don't. I do find it funny that we get these matches before fighters. It really felt like we were getting these before fighters doing it theirs first. This is a very much. I wish Gold Lewis players are very much wait and see and hope you guys are fine. This is funny as fuck. The fact that defends now launches. I don't think this character needed buffs. Lotus would argue, but I don't think this character needed buffs at all. She was really good. This character is very undervalued. We'll finally see people put Jacko in probably the top 5.
I hate that H tier. Like they reduced how long it lasts, but it gives her full minion bar back.
I don't know. This is really worrying. She is gonna murder in this system. This character is fucking scary. This character's already scary. She's undervalued like hell. This character is gonna murder people. This is too much. This character did not need this. They could have buffed some of our normals and I would have been like so true, bestie. Keep up the good work. They added Gar Crush on the countdown. Oh, this is the problem is that defend being buffed with countdown is such an insane combo.
Is it going to launch on grounded hit?
Yeah, it just says on hit. I'm gonna start playing Jacko.
I'm gonna hate you forever.
Let's see Happy Chaos.
I actually like these. The huge thing, his normals are better, but it carries a better purpose. His roll can actually be grabbed now. His stuff is a little easier to connect. But the biggest thing they changed on him was that his gun damage is heavily nerfs. Like heavily nerfs. So he can't really just like spam shoot you across the map and do 1 billion damage. Most of his damage now comes from his normals. His gun is just a tool for it.
But the thing about his normals and the gun change basically makes it so you actually have to care about how you hit your opponent as this character instead of just gun doing all the heavy lifting for you.
I like this. This is kind of feel like Chaos where it should have been. Chaos actually might be knocked down a peg with this. He's still gonna probably do some pretty good damage, and do some pretty good wall break. But at least now he won't be as much of a problem as he was. A lot of system mechanics nerf him. The wall slumping, if he wall slumped at all against an enemy, the person who's been wall slumped gains like 30% burst bar back. A lot of wall slump and like burst changes make this character a lot more weak than he like definitely will be, because this character always abused a lot of system mechanics. He was inherently broken for the game, and he's still going to be pretty strong, but now he actually might be at a better point than he's ever been. This I don't know much about Baiken, so this is all you.
Okay, so the big thing about this is TKO Sansen now basically sends you full screen if you get hit. This is really good because it makes it so she can't loop 50-50s. Hiragi parry got like super nerfed, does like 1/3 of the damage than it used to. Okay, so I'm actually gonna go down these like one by one. 6K, added stagger effect on ground and counter hit. You know how if you get counter hit by Dolphin, May can grab you and it combos? I'm really hoping that's what 6K counter hit will let me do. The close slash, Viking has some combos where she can dash cancel close slash 3 times, like it's like one of her main punishes on Sim DP. Tether, they reduced the startup, they also reduced the active frames. This is pretty good because Tether was like super slow. The Tether fix where like it would remain active after using burst, I've never seen that.
You get it a lot if they like reverse burst in like in the corner, and you'll still keep it, but like
Kabari, system mechanic changes. This is good. Yosansen sends you like full screen. It's basically dog shit in mid screen, really good in the corner, which is how instant overhead should be half the time, right? Hiragi does like a third of the damage that it used to. Super does less. They changed gun super, so it is now 2 hits. So hopefully Viken has more confirms from gun, which is going to be great. Viken got changed. She didn't get nerfed. She didn't get buffed. She got changed. What they also didn't put down is if you hit someone with the Kabari follow-up and its counter hit, you get a combo. If it's mid-screen, you get 2S Kabari. If it's in the corner, you get 5k JD done close as 6H Kabari or super, and it does like 300 damage. They didn't write this down, but Kabari counter hit no longer gives you a combo, which is like, that's pretty big, because that's where most of Viken's damage came from if she wasn't mixing you. Yosansen, there's been word on the street that like there's meterless combos in the corner with Yosansen, but we're gonna have to wait and see.
I never really felt like Viken needed a ton. I just felt like Viken needed a lot of quality of life.
The weight thing is also gonna make Viken even more scary, because a big problem that Viken used to have, a lot of the heavyweights were good, and she hated heavyweights. A lot of heavyweights messed up her B&Bs and like a lot of her confirms. Now that weights are more homogenized, she's still gonna have that inconsistency that she has now. Now it's not as bad because heavyweights aren't a thing.
Yeah, like I'm just more of like a wait and see kind of crowd, because I think this is fine. I actually don't really have any issue against this. I prefer to be a brawler than a 50-50 character. I mean, but Viken can use mid-screen stuff. Yeah, I don't see the issue.
I'm surprised they didn't touch Far Slash.
I think they want to keep that as like, that's one of her core strengths like already. Plus, if you nerfed close slash, Far Slash, you'd have to nerf like the buff Kabari. You'd have to change like so many like other random things. Like, it's better to keep it the way it is. I have a few things to say about Testament, because I actually play a lot of Testament. We're getting to like a lot of the characters I actually play. Arborison launching is so great. I think the biggest issue with this character was that off it confirmed, they really couldn't combo too much. They had like 1 or 2 combos. They're all kind of relatively meh. Like you just get in, like you get like a wall combo to your same succubus combo and a Strova. Reduce damage at Calamity 1 is fine. I don't think it's that strong anyway. Arbiter Sign launching is so cool. I'm so excited for this. It's gonna be a lot more valuable to use in the corner. It's gonna feel less dragful for the enemy too, because it doesn't feel like they're just being looped to death in the corner. I think it's overall better for the character in the game. Like just to not have like a up and down block mix. Yeah. Now it's an actual move you can use to set up. You can actually use this now to set up Stain in the first place, which feels good because a lot of times you're kind of risking it using your far normals, so you had to use a lot of kick moves, and then you kind of felt like if for a mid-range character you're playing with a little sub-B game. Launching is pretty huge for Testament. I don't think it's enough. In my personal opinion, I actually don't think Testament's a great character compared to a lot of characters, but we're gonna have to see. The wild like Assault looks like it's gonna do a lot for this character too, so we're gonna have to really see on this one. Bridget 2, I don't really know how to feel about it. I've seen a lot of Bridget mains zoom about this. I think this is fine. Like, yeah, she's got some moves nerfs. Kickstart My Heart doing counter hit was always a little dirty, so I'm fine with that being gone. And a lot of this is inherently just like reducing her damage. Like some seem like buffs. I don't know why they nerfed loop-to-loop's damage. I kind of feel like it didn't do damage anyway. Yeah, I'm just hoping it's not going to feel too useless. Well, this is good. I think this character needed some this character needs some nerfs. Sin players are even good. I'm so happy for Sin players. You don't really need to go too much into this other than the fact that all of his stuff is just faster. His clean hit conditions are way more lenient. He could do a lot more damage.
Yes. A lot of his good confirms also don't require stamina. Like Kara Tyrant Bearer no longer needs stamina, which is really, really good.
The most I can say is I'm just glad that Finn can finally play the game. Maybe on the other hand, I like his buffs. I don't think they're enough. We're gonna see. Being able to confirm crouching punch into like other like specials is really good. Like some of the huge things is that Area 6E, like your follow-up, stays when you break walls now. Which that's a crazy power up. 2S and 2H is actually like true. A lot of the buttons they seem a lot. They just do a lot more than they should have. I don't know if this is gonna be enough for the character. I think the character has like a lot of still core issues, but at least now they can finally like get a little more compared. And we're gonna probably see some issues with the new mechanics. Ben is gonna be in probably a still rough state, but this gives me hope that they're gonna do a lot for him because they're actually going for his stuff. Beyblade does a little less damage than 236H, but it's more consistent. It needed to be a lot more consistent. It's just one of those things that like, it's great. I love this. Hopefully he gets more in the future because he needs it. Asuka doesn't. They didn't really do a ton. His water Metron does like some pretty cool stuff. His backstep got buffed. Forgot the exact name. I don't know my name is fully.
Why does he have to have like 16 moves for 16 names for all of his moves?
Asuka
Yeah.
needed more changes. I don't think so. I don't think this character, like what Aaron said, this character doesn't need to be talked about for a while.
I feel like this is a really good direction for the game as a whole. I really like that compared to last season, this season actually feels like a season instead of just a balance update, pretty much. Because for the most part, season 1 and 2 felt the same. But now it's like we have a lot more quality of life stuff, we have more system mechanics, etc., etc. Big changes all around the board for the most part. I think this is a really good direction for the game, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here on out.